Hello, Sagittarius. Month of July 2020 horoscope. When the full moon and lunar eclipse rise in ambitious Capricorn on July 4th, you're anxious to get going. Problem is that it's a much better time to finish what you've already started than to move on to something new. Try to be patient a little while longer while you wait for the conclusion of an important life event. There's a new moon on the 20th that gives you the green light on new projects and relationships. Sagittarius, and this is where that patience pays off. Family matters should be your top priority, with some improvement projects coming in a close second. Making your loved ones feel secure is the main thing on your mind. The sign is kindred fire sign Leo on July 22nd adds the excitement to your life that you've been looking for, so don't hold back. Be spontaneous and outgoing and do the things you've been refraining from all month. A burst of creativity at the right moment can be life altering. Being overly confident or optimistic isn't a good idea during the Mercury Jupiter opposition on the 30th, because someone or something is just waiting in the wings to tear you down. Balance is the key to riding out this energy. When you use extreme thinking, the potential is high for being way off base. Cosmic, spiritual, intellectual, physical, social, and emotional aspect of the self for Sagittarius in July of 2020. Spiritual self, we've got Six of Pentacles. Intellectual self, we have King of Cups. Physical self, we have the Magician. Social self, we have Seven of Swords. Emotional self, we have Queen of Cups. The Six of Pentacles here is the it's like making rain money or worth, or being in a place of celebration of value. And this is in the spiritual, so your overabundance in your spirituality can be thrown from the mountaintops, shared for all to see, and just being a glorious Sagittarius in July. The King of Cups here is Cancer, and it's in your intellectual. So the things on your mind in July is your home, your family, your emotions, how you feel, how things are feeling for you in July, and just keeping the home life in tune with your emotions. I did mention in the horoscope about your family, so your mind is on that in July. The Magician here is divine masculine, divine feminine, balanced. It can be a master manipulator or a master manifester. So this is giving you creative insight on your physical aspect of yourself. So are you manipulating your intellectual or social self in believing that you are look or have a physical condition that is greater than it really is? Or are you manifesting that your physical body is going to be greater than it currently is, or it is as great as it, I don't know if you could ever have it as great as it ever could be. You might be in your prime, but definitely be aware of how the Magician is signifying your physical aspect of yourself. Seven of Swords is kind of like uncertainty or walking away from the past, maybe, or ignoring what may have happened, with the swords just sitting there and just being like moving on. But then you see the cloudy situation covering the moon, which may be of illusion. So you may be facing illusion of your social self and thinking you're on the right path, but in reality you probably aren't, because you got to turn around and deal with all these swords you left behind and kind of man or woman up to who you are in a social aspect of yourself and what you've done, or what others have done to you potentially, and kind of just dealing with it on a healthy level with psychological aspects of your social self and your development through your life. So put some more thought into how your social aspect of yourself is influenced or affecting you in July. Queen of Cups here is Pisces. She can be, generous, kind, friendly, but she could also potentially be a manipulator and deceiving. This. Looking at this, I thought back to the Magician, because you have the King of Cups on one side and your intellectual, and the Queen of Cups and your emotional, and the Magician and your physical, and then the Seven of Swords, right, and the Six of Pentacles. But the Magician is divine masculine, divine feminine, and you have them both here, one on the left, one on the right. And so this is telling me that you need to tread lightly with the waters in the emotional aspect. Queen is, tend to be a good, nice, emotional person, but you also let your emotions kind of disconnect from situations you should be handling a little bit better than you are. So with the Queen of Cups here in your emotions, I'm thinking that you don't need to change necessarily your emotional aspect of yourself, but just fine tune it and get a little bit better perspective on how your life is playing out because of your emotions. Epic, spiritual, intellectual, physical, social, and emotional aspect of the self for Sagittarius in July of 2020. Spiritual self is the world. Cut, third word. Spiritual aspect of the self is judgment. Intellectual self is Unicorn of Swords. Physical self is Four of Swords. Social self is Two of Spheres. The emotional self is the Emperor. This judgment card is representative of how we all play in a course of unity, of consciousness, a unified field of consciousness, and we all have our instruments that we play, and spirit is playing it, and we have to listen. So this is a very spiritual card, and thinking that because it's like Adam and Eve possibly, or naked people with their son, and listening to spirit, they're not being tempted with the nakedness of themselves. So this is all about the divine whole aspect with being unified and having a happy-go-lucky kind of spirit aspect of yourself. And then with the Six of Pentacles, so the combination would say have that flamboyant, good-spirited energy flow out and onto the rest of the world or your life, or just those in your life, and be conscious of that. The Unicorn of Swords is all about the truths in your life, or just the most honest card there is in this deck. So with no dirt, no grime, clean slate of truth. And with the King of Cups being at home and family, thinking about that, be honest. Don't hold anything back. Don't hold back. If you're asked a question, you'd be like, I don't feel comfortable answering that. You need to answer it honestly. And just, if you have something that could possibly cause some strife in the house, this needs to be dealt with. This needs to be brought up. The intellectual, your thoughts could potentially drive you crazy if you don't. So be aware of that. I mean, don't go starting conversations that might lead you to a horrible outcome. But if they come up, you need to be that king, that noble king, and be honest with it yourself and with those around you and what you're thinking. Four of Swords is about rest and not overexerting yourself with what you're thinking. So this definitely relates to the intellectual, physical aspect of yourself. You may be working too hard. You may be putting too much emphasis on your physical self, and you need to take a break and relax, and have that balance between the divine feminine and divine masculine with manifesting and not manipulating. The Two of Spheres is all about playing with the abundance, or playing with what he's got, sharing it with those he cares about. And then so the Seven of Swords and the Two of Spheres is maybe you're being a little greedy or selfish about your social aspect of yourself, and you need to share more and be more considerate of others and have a healthy social aspect of yourself. What the Emperor in this deck is symbolic to adequate provisions, or providing enough for sustainability, getting what you need to survive. The Queen of Cups, remember, she was the nice, friendly, but can be a manipulator, so be careful of that. You want to be the more provider of with your emotions and give people hugs. And even in the COVID situation, you may have to make exceptions and be like, well, I have faith and trust that I'll be alright, and that I don't have to worry about what might happen because I'm on my divine path with myself, and I'm having a harmonious emotional aspect of the self. Universal, fantasy, spiritual, intellectual, physical, social, and emotional aspect of the self for Sagittarius in July of 2020. Spiritual self is justice. Intellectual self is Ten of Pentacles. Physical self is the Emperor. Social self is Two of Cups. Emotional self is King of Swords. The justice from this deck is about considering the other possibilities or perceptions about your spiritual self that you're not being inclusive of. Get more filtration of your spiritual life, faith, religion, whatever you want to call it. And then the Judgment card, having that harmonious, healthy aspect of yourself, your spiritual self, and sharing it with the world. It looks like to me that this is showing you a picture here from, if you do this, then you can do this, and then you get this. You get your justice spiritually. Or you're going to have the opposite of these cards. Instead of the benevolent, you'll have the maleficent. So I suggest, focusing on your spiritual aspect tremendously in July, because you don't want to be on the wrong side of justice. Ten of Pentacles is all about looking how far the journey may be and thinking about a shortcut, but it's not the good idea to think about the shortcut. Just endure and be patient and do the long journey with your intellectual self, what you're thinking about, being honest with your friends, family, your home life. Maybe you need to clean up or be honest with yourself and take a deep look at what is going on at home. This Emperor out of this deck is being committed to what you've promised and fulfilling that and following through correctly and honorably. So maybe you need to take a break to do that and step away from the manifesting or manipulating you've been doing from the physical aspect of yourself. You know, take a break, relax. You don't always have to be doing something, especially in the hot summer days. Maybe you can put it off to August physically. The Two of Cups is all about seeing yourself in others and others seeing yourself. Or look, it's a man looking at through a mirror seeing a woman, and a woman looking back at seeing a man. So, you know, it's a balance of that magician, divine masculine, divine feminine. Okay? And then we had the Two of Spheres, sharing, playing, having a good time with your self-worth, your value, or your abundance. And then the Six of Swords is saying, hey, take a break or take a moment and reflect on what you are trying to cut away or ignore in your life. Maybe you need to turn around and take some time to pick up those swords and deal with them, because swords are really just words without an S. This S is silent. So keep track of your social aspect of yourself in July. The King of Swords is being aware that just even because you imagine something doesn't mean it's going to come to fruition. You have to actually put motion or action into it. And then the Emperor is getting the adequate substance or whatever you need for you to achieve that. And then the Queen is Pisces energy. You got to be aware of how you are and who you are, an emotional aspect of yourself, and how you're pretty much flooded with emotions this month, and you're thinking about it on your emotional, intellectual aspect of yourself. And you got Cups and Swords, which emotion, thoughts. Okay, so try to have that middle ground with the Emperor there, providing enough emotion, but don't be manipulating just because you're trying to get it, you know, put the pacifier in the mouth kind of thing and get it over with. Don't do that. You gotta take, just because you imagine it doesn't mean it's gonna work. You gotta actually put the work in emotionally. Foxfire, the Kitsune, what message do you have for Sagittarius in July of 2020? Grace. This will be a time of balance and grace, of movement that is flowing and smooth, purposeful and free. All that must be done, and there is much that must be done, is attended to with ease and beauty, and you may find that others look to you to see how one can move through so much without losing their sense of dignity. Others about you at this time are only seeing the surface of what is taking place, whereas you are able to go deep within and understand the meaning behind gestures and words, actions and energies. You are able to pierce the emotional camouflage so many people wear when they encounter others, and without prying, you see the truth that lies beneath. This makes you perceptive, but do keep your counsel, as many people need the protections and will not take kindly to feeling exposed. Instead, offer the example of movement through challenges without losing the best of who you are. Let people have their secrets, and know that your perception of them is accurate, fair, and will help you to fly above the troubles so many around you will immerse themselves within. Choose who you will offer your services to. Who will you be the beneficiary of your friendship and kindness? for your work has great value and must not be squandered with those who lack appreciation and understanding of beauty. Choose to protect yourself through asking for your worth in all circumstances, without pride or vanity, but with a sense of honoring the knowledge you have and the skills you have acquired to ensure the longevity of your practice, whatever form it may take. You are a true and devoted person, and the Kitsune will help you to see your own value clearly and to ensure that all you do is honored and respected. Queen of the Moon Oracle, what message do you have for Sagittarius in July of 2020? The path. The way is open for you. The path is illuminated. Begin the journey now. Respond and take action. We must be courageous and move forward. I am open and responsive to the opening of the way. When we accept where we are, acknowledge what needs to change to grow, and begin to love ourselves more completely, the direction of our lives begin to change. We often decide we want to follow a more authentic way for ourselves, and our desires become more aligned with the needs, wants, and values of our true selves. Imagine we are lost in a dark forest and can hardly see. There is no visible path, and every way looks exactly the same. We feel burdened by shadows and are not sure we should even move because we are so paralyzed by fear and uncertainty. Then the sunshine somehow breaks through the clouds and leaf canopy, and there ahead is a path illumined in golden light. It is clear now the direction we should head. The path is not only visible but is inviting us forward, and so instead of just standing there, we can't wait to step on it and move forward. The path is lit, and now is the time to walk upon it. Companion stone or metal, pyrite. Keepers of the light, who has a message for Sagittarius in July of 2020? White eagle. Ancestor spirit, connect to your lineage. A family wound or pattern can be healed now. White eagle is a Native American shaman who is dedicated to honoring our spiritual heritage. He is a world-renowned spiritual guide who has been particularly cherished by mediums all over the world. He first spoke through a medium called Grace Cook in the early 20th century. He is the guide who helps create clear channels in our bloodline and our spiritual lineage so we can access the heart of the Creator. He also helps us move into sacred ceremony, where we can hold sacred space to honor a change, transition, celebration, or anything else that deserves time. He is wonderful for clearing space, and we can call on him for help in forging spiritual connections. Take some time to honor just how far you have come, recognizing through ceremony and ritual the shifts in your awareness. Healing and journey really allows you to move into a state of grace and gratitude. You have or have recently had an opportunity to heal an old family wound or pattern. It's important to connect with your family and spirit so that you can set a new energy of love in place. White Eagle is bringing your ancestors through to you and allowing you to know that they are happy and well. He is sounding his sacred drums to clear your spirit. Sacred power for Sagittarius in July of 2020. Abundance. Success, abundance awaits you now. Be patient. To harvest a plentiful bounty, one must wait for the cycle of growth to be complete. Patiently nurturing and removing obstacles as they arise will allow the fruit to ripen to achieve the best yield possible. After the harvest, we begin to see the rewards of our efforts flow back to us in abundance. You're about to achieve success. You have been working so hard of late, and you are going to be rewarded for your efforts. Acknowledge your achievements. It is important to remember that worry only creates distance between you and your success. It is only when we begin to trust the universe and the Creator that everything is received in divine timing. Hand your concerns about money directly over to Source in the universe. You will receive assistance to remove obstacles that may be inhibiting your ability to access abundance in all forms. Planning and organizing your finances and assets are essential during this harvest period. Settle financial matters while you have the opportunity. Set aside a portion of your income to assist you through the winter months and prepare you for the season ahead. It is your birthright to live an abundant life. The harvest reminds you that while you are waiting to receive, you must acknowledge and show gratitude for the opportunities presented to you. The celebration of a season brings the completion of events. It is time now to see or to sow new seeds and begin the next growth cycle. The universe and or creator will always provide you with what you need, not always what you want. Reconsider your values. Affirmation. I am now willing and able to receive the golden flow of universal abundance. I allow my soul to be aligned to my divine birthright, accepting and integrating this energy with love and gratitude. Divine Circus, who has a message for Sagittarius in July of 2020? Gypsy Columbine. The free spirit in you is rewilding itself, shedding social conditioning and past patterns of behavior. It is shaking off socialization and emerging anew like a snake shedding its skin. The wild one within isn't a savage. It is raw, yes, but also wise, authentic, beautiful, and with a deep instinctive knowing as to what you must be. Can a bird even be truly happy whilst trying to be a fish? True freedom is to be truthfully yourself. Politeness and people pleasing, not out of respect but out of fear you will otherwise be rejected, is a form of social conditioning that dulls the wild one within. If you reject that conditioning in favor of rewilding, of getting in touch with your true instincts in nature, you will exchange lukewarm tolerance from others for their passionate admiration and love. And for those that cannot love you, that are afraid of how much life is in you, then let them be. They do not belong in your world, nor you in theirs. The jungle of life is a vibrant, colorful, and exciting place, but not everyone is ready to live there as yet. This is just the way of things sometimes. The mysterious Gypsy Columbine comes to you with a message. It's now time to let yourself off the hook, to forgive and forget, to allow what's been to have been, and to start again. No regrets, no fear, no doubt. It's time to heed the call of the wild and ask yourself, what would set my spirit free? If you cannot answer that bold question quite yet, then it's time to get in touch with the freedom-seeking wild one within. Dance, play, sing, drum, wear a feather in your hair and go barefoot. Let your instincts rather than your intellect guide you. Swap the certainty of the ego for the mystery of the soul. A new song wants you to dance to it. There is no choreographed routine to learn, yet your body will create the steps as you go. Will you free your gypsy soul and dance to music you've never heard before? Wisdom of the Oracle, what message do we have for Sagittarius in July of 2020? Higher power. I don't know if you can see that. There's an angel there in the clouds. Consciousness, contact with a higher power, the presence of the divine, seeing source energy in all things, committing to a partnership with spirit. This card reminds you that you are more than a person trying to get ahead and make things happen for yourself and others. You have an immortal soul and are gifted with a human life through which a higher power can express itself. At this time, you need to be conscious of your connection to spirit and foster it through prayer and meditation. Ask, what is the highest good for all? How can I serve? Then get out of your own way and trust that there is a plan for your life more wondrous than you can ever know. You are always protected and divinely directed. Relationship message. It's time to address how much effort you give to your relationship with your higher power, called God, Goddess, Spirit, or any other name that is sacred and holy. Recognize that your partnership with Spirit is your number one priority. The appearance of this card also indicates that there is a deep spiritual bond between you and another person who is essential to your growth and evolution. Tend to your spiritual connections and remain aware of your true nature. Prosperity message. Sometimes your work just flows through you. Ideas come rushing in and inspiration bubbles up from a wellspring you didn't even know you could access. When you enter agreements, begin projects, and negotiate deals with Spirit as your partner, you will always succeed. Let your higher power lead. The synchronicities and intuitive nudges you feel will help you see which way you are being pointed, giving you confidence to move forward in the right direction. Don't forget to give credit where it is due. You wouldn't be a success without Spirit's guidance. Humility will serve you well when this symbol appears. Protection message. Now's the time to examine what you are giving energy and attention to in the back of your mind. If you're obsessing about being right, about old sentiments, about old resentments, or failed expectations about money or about any other people, places, or things, these will be the source from which you create. But you want Spirit to be your source. Take heart, for your higher power will never desert you and is always waiting for you to remember the sacred partnership you share. Turn away from other sources of power that don't serve your highest good. There is no greater source than Spirit. You can always surrender your troubles and trust that they will be taken care of. You are in good hands. Cosmic message for Sagittarius in July of 2020. Awaken. It is time to awaken. Humanity needs your unique and illuminating light. Dear one, the universe has been gently nudging you forward with signs, synchronicities, dreams, and coincidences. It is your time to awaken your true creative potential and inherent power. You are being propelled forward to stir the ancient wisdom that is already in you. Enjoy this process of unfolding and watch consciously as your life transforms. You already possess all the tools you'll ever need on your journey, and this chapter is simply a reminder to pay attention to those signs. Your conscious awareness is expanding, and the wisdom of the sages is being reflected to you through Mother Earth herself. Situations are presenting themselves to you to match your increasing vibration and remind you of your awakening power. A deeper inner knowing is emerging. Even if you are not aware of it, portals within you are being healed and open, allowing inspiration and ancient wisdom to be readily accessed. You have always possessed these innate wisdom, but needed to clear and balance certain areas in your life first. This is now your chapter to reveal to the world who you truly are and the unique light that you hold. Embrace the amazing soul that is you and accept that you have a vital role to play. Go with the flow and follow the signs, for you are not alone. Divine guidance is with you every step of the way to assist you where you need to be. Let this place flow naturally. Don't rush or be frantic during this time. Just be and allow your beautiful petals to gently unfold to the amazing, magnificent soul that is truly you. Affirmation. I am awake to the spark of my own illumination, liberated through love, illumined by divine light. Associated chakras. Heart, third eye, crown. Isis, what's your message for Sagittarius in July of 2020? The brother in darkness. Overcoming negative energy with feminine power. Whenever negative energy is present, it is a sign that we are ready to move more deeply into our feminine divine power. The brother in darkness indicates that there is a negative energy either within you or outside of you, but directed towards you that is providing you with a spiritual test, beloved initiate. You shall overcome this energy with grace and triumph. Stay in your heart. There's no need to be afraid. There's a test that you are currently moving through because you are ready to progress more deeply into wisdom, light, acceptance, and inner peace. The test is in the guise of a negative energy source either within you or apparently outside of you. In truth, we are all one, and the world is our mirror for whatever healing task lies within. Even though sometimes the source of difficulty appears to be external, rather than an opportunity for us to gain mastery with our own responses through inner healing. Guidance comes to you in this oracle now to become more conscious of the negative energies either within or directed towards you without being fearful. There's no need for fear, there's just need for more conscious loving response. In the story of Isis, the destructive emotions of her dark brother Set led to the murder of her beloved Osiris. He did not stop there. He also attempted to destroy her beloved divine son-child and deny him his rightful rulership. Set teaches us that destructive emotions can gain awful power if we leave them unchecked and do not consciously respond to them. Isis teaches us that love, faith, persistence, courage, intelligent, and honest awareness can overcome even the darkest power. Your guidance is to rise above fear, anger, jealousy, or hatred within you, or directed towards you now. This will require your feminine strength or to be fiercely compassionate and not to judge or resist out of fear. Compassion is great strength. It sees the truth in all situations, does not pander to lies or deceptions in order to paint everything as nice. Compassion is wisdom. It knows that a wolf can cause harm even if it is dressed as a sheep. You are guided to be attentive and honest about negative influences within or directed towards you without judging them or their source or paying undue attention with fear. You simply need recognition and then to respond with compassion and clear, loving, firm boundary. This boundary will very often be an internal shift energetically for you. It may not require any further action than this. Listen to your heart and trust in your guidance. You're guided, however, to respond now and check the growth of any negativity before it becomes more consuming than it needs to be. This oracle also comes as spiritual revelation. Part of your spiritual path is to honor the darkness as a way through a greater consciousness, to not fight against darker and potentially destructive emotions with force, but to allow them to be with compassion and instantly removes the resistance that creates psychic glue and causes darker energies to get stuck within us. Trust your feminine values, whether man or woman, and don't believe for one moment that you are obliged to wear another's negativity for them. You are not. You may stand true in your purity of heart and be safe. If you do have negative energy rising within, the same stands true. Have compassion and witness it, but don't believe that you have to identify with it. It is not you. It is just energy and feeling. Let it flow and it shall go. The ritual healing below will assist with realizing negative energies through feminine power. May you enjoy your growing mastery with such energies from a place of compassion, humility, and service to the light in all beings. Starseed Oracles, what message do we have for Sagittarius in July of 2020? The Seas of Mintaka. Seeing potential, bringing unconsciousness to light. Mintaka is thought to have been a water-based planet containing the most crystal clear waters you could ever imagine, so clear that you could see for miles and miles underwater. The Seas of Mintaka card represents this crystalline clarity of potential and possibility. It's all about the ability and choice to see the potential in all people and situations. This could be one of your natural traits, or it could be a sign that what you're currently doing has great potential. Mintakans are thought to have been a galactic race who saw the light in everything and everyone. You may have received this card as confirmation that a situation or project has extreme potential and will reach fruition. If it appears in a spread, it is a very positive sign that things are working out for the highest potential of all involved. It is very uplifting, light-filled card that brings great harmony, contentment, and positive outcomes. According to Carl Jung, that which we do not bring to consciousness appears in our life as fate. When water appears in dreams and art, it often represents the unconscious mind. Pulling this card also means you may be called to bring to light any unconscious patterns of which you are unaware. To look at them and see them clearly and consciously so they don't appear in your life as fate. What unconscious patterns or behaviors are ready to be brought to the light of day? Starseed, a soul inquiry. How can you see the potential in a situation you're facing? What unconscious patterns are you being called to bring to light? And that's your reading, Sagittarius. Click the links below the video. Email me. Come on Patreon, please. See you next month.